Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, I'll link them on screen now. So it's day 3, Sunday morning. It looks like we're gonna have a better day for it. There's no winds. The water's nice and calm. Look at that sunrise. If we could have had this weather all weekend, it would have been absolutely perfect. So at 7:05, we have to be at Divers Den by 7:30, which gives me 25 minutes to disassemble and pack up the tent. And we're gonna leave them all at the lodge here. We'll pick them up after boat rides. And all that was done without a single sip of coffee. So we organized all of our dive gear and took them down to the pier, ready for the first charter. Divers then organized quite a few different charters, but the one that we always end up on is Deep Obsession. So to make everything easier for everyone, we all get organized before the boat leaves. And right any second now, you're going to see something catastrophically go wrong with my wetsuit. The zip broke. And as you can tell by the expression on Mario's face, he's ecstatic. He just had it repaired. Consequently, this means that I'll be doing the rest of these dives with the back of my wetsuit open. Heading out from Tobermory, one of the first things that you see on the horizon is the lighthouse. Right there. Which brings back some cold memories of my first dive of the trip. So the first shipwreck we headed out to was the Niagara II.
Right now we are on top of the artificial reef called the Niagara II. Down, you'll end up on the stern at the end here of Niagara II. It's down, that's about 55 feet
or 16
so.
meters for the metric among us.
One thing, it's freezing effing cold in the engine room of the Niagara. There is a geological waterfall that's actually over there and to the northwest, and all of the cold water that runs off that bottom comes and sinks and settles in here. So the Niagara II is known as sort of the coldest dive site in the engine room in all of Tobermory.
Which is just what you want to hear when your wetsuit's broke.
This is a very safe dive, very fun dive to be on, tons of stuff to see. You can dive this wreck 50, 100 times and still find new things. So enjoy the dive. The pool is open. Wow, it's cold.
So despite this being the third time we've ever been to the Niagara II, this was our first time trying to go into the engine room. So right here you can see that we're at 23 meters and it's 7 degrees inside the engine room. But I'm not even thinking about the cold because right now it was just too spectacular to think about. We've not once been able to go to the Niagara II and not have a look in the wheel room and play around with the helm. So the Niagara II is a very special dive site for me. The very first time I dove it, it was my very first shipwreck dive. And I was diving it accompanying my old instructor Mauricia, while she was teaching Kushal his AOW. And during our safety stop, I ran out of air and had to use Mauritius alternator. So it was my first dive with the Shipwreck, first dive with Kishal, and first time I ran out of air underwater. Those were some great times. During the surface interval, several of our wetsuits started to steam off as the sun heated the water in them. It only happened to some of us, so it looked like Thanos had just snapped, and some of us were about to quit. So then we headed over to our second shipwreck, the Wetmore.
And we're now sitting just about on top of the wreck of the Wetmore. And it was originally built in 1879 as a propeller steamer. In 1901, the Wetmore was coming through this channel and allowing two barges behind it, which used to be sailing vessels, the King and the Brunei. In 1901, the captain of the Wetmore encountered a very violent storm coming in from the northwest, and they're towing this thing through there, and they all started to get pushed by the wind and the waves on top of what's called Russell Reef. And all three ships ended up foundering and sinking on top of Russell Shoal.
So because this one's more of a wreck rather than an artificial reef, everything's broken up and spread apart. So Captain Rich gave us a bit of a treasure hunt.
And then as you go a little bit further forward, you'll run into a great big spool of anchor chain, okay? And if you follow that anchor chain, you're gonna find a beautiful example of a wooden stock anchor. Finest examples of a beautiful, great big huge wooden rudder,
which someone had conveniently labeled for us.
Have a good look at the propeller, because that prop hit those rocks full speed. So if you can remember when you go there, have a good look at it and see if you can think of how many blades used to be on it and how many are on it now.
On our second loop of the shipwreck, we spotted Paul and Jenny. Perfect opportunity for an underwater group selfie. So with both of the wreck dives over, we headed back reluctantly to Tobermory. Good time.
We love you.
Just got back from the boats. Heading over now to pick up the car, and we're gonna go back to the lodge, pack up everything quickly because we've got to go. It's now 2 o'clock. The boat we were supposed to be on is now heading out, and we are heading home. So a nice big comfy fluffy bed and a nice hot shower and a cup of coffee. That's the end of Dive World's first Tobermory trip of the season. We only got 5 dives, but 5 dives in Tobermory is pretty much better than no dives nowhere, right? Managed to pass the milestone of my 100th dive, and we're finally going to go inside the engine room of the Niagara II. I'd say that's a win, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd say it's a win. We didn't get as many dives as before, but
Win-win.
You can't have a perfect trip always.
Absolutely. Well, until next time. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.